let's get her going. Clock's ticking. The Real Kyper and Bourne Show, Season 5. The Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandale in. Is this true? Frank the Tank, Nebraska?
Frank the Tank is in today. He is.
He's 100% in. I could tell just by the camera work pre-show. Him getting prepped.
Love Frank the Tank.
I was looking up how to spell his last name, and I saw that he there you go. He's in like multiple bands, plays drums. Cool guy. Sick flow.
Long gray hair. He's
yeah.
awesome.
Big fan of the Tank.
Yeah. He's Rizzo Dos Equis guy. So
wherever you're watching, listening, Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto. It's streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Glad you're aboard. If you do not catch us live, there's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where we got our trusted chat going, where we always appreciate a thumbs up. The Toronto Maple Leafs came so close to ending a 3-game losing streak, only to lose in a shootout last night against the Philadelphia Flyers. Got a chance to go.
Oh, my God. Was it electric?
The lamb chops were wonderful. Wonderful. Yes. Yeah. And the company was great. I don't know, better vibe than Saturday, obviously.
Yeah, they played good.
They were, better effort, close game. I don't know. I mean, all right, I'm pulling a JP here. I'm trying to find some positives.
I got to tell you, I was just sitting down here looking at the lineup, and I saw we had a few audio clips, and I was like, oh, yeah, I played last night. You know, like I've spent so much time. We are now, 48 hours till the trade deadline? No, 72 hours till the trade deadline. Like, it's coming up.
It is.
All the conversation, all my thoughts, all the fan base's thoughts, everything is about big picture. I don't see anyone being like, really like the push late in the third.
No, I know. And I don't want 21 more games of nobody gives a crap on the ice.
I know.
But I'm not going to allow it. There's still.
I was worried about you.
I don't care. I don't care about standings now for the Leafs. I don't care points. I care about pride and seeing something of being pros.
Okay.
Be pros out there. And I thought it was a much better look last night. I get it. Flyers are struggling too. 2 struggling teams last night play to a draw after 60 minutes. So I get that part.
Bit of a rock fight.
You can't quit. You can't mail it in, and you can't have your coach for the next 21 days pointing to his head and his heart. So
it will come in every day, and we'll have a board up between us, and our game analysis will be, did they look like pros? Yes or no. We'll pick a box.
And the show will be over.
Listen, I understand. I'm with you, too. There is more to be learned about where they're at, who's important, the direction they're going, how the players feel from the hockey. And, they showed some pride last night. I thought a good bounce-back effort.
I think nobody really knows how to handle what this next 21 games are going to look like. I see them in the post game, and I see Willie being like, "Oh, it's a good game. It's a good step towards people." And I see people online being like, "Oh, what's he talking about?"
He doesn't know.
Nobody knows how to handle this. Nobody knows what to say. Nobody's like, "Oh, we're trying to build." They don't know what to say or what to do after a game. Like Berube, if we can play his clips. Like I think it's a very unfamiliar position for everybody involved with this.
They haven't declared direction clearly.
It's just a very weird thing.
All right, let's go to Craig Berube on his overview of what he saw last night. Clip 1.
Good battle by our group tonight. I thought really good second period. Had a lot of opportunities. We didn't capitalize on them, but I thought our game was good all around. Penalties in the first period kind of set us back a little bit, but overall, I thought the team competed hard, played good defense, did a lot of good things. We just didn't finish.
What do you think of Austin and Willie together tonight?
Thought they were good. A lot of, Austin had 8 shots, Willie 4 or 5. They created, they just didn't finish. But I liked the line.
Yeah. Dakota Joshua was good. Like, there was bright spots where you're like, okay.
I think it's going to be really hard for the fan base to not measure, to not have like big sweeping takeaways for the rest of this season, because you're still in like competitive window mode for a team. And like, there's going to be some bad hockey coming up here. And I don't necessarily think that it's going to reflect what the future is going to look like necessarily, like the immediate future. I just think you're going to have to kind of take everything from here on out with a bit of a grain of salt.
Yeah,
in terms of what
I
they
agree
say.
with that for sure. And I've been through it. Hartford, where you just know by February, March, what are you playing for? You're playing to take care of your numbers.
For your next season.
That I'm part of the solution. We've clearly heard from a number of guys, including Scott Lawton and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, where I don't want to go. Or, at least that's the perception that they're giving is in front of the camera, is that they still like it here. And it's been going on for decades now that when the Leafs get into this mode, there's still guys going, God, it's still pretty good to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. It's good to be a Leaf.
Yeah.
So 21 games.
Ekman-Larsson committed here for 4 years. He got his money. He wants to be here. Thought they'd be in playoffs, and I don't think he intended to leave a year and a half later. So I have a question for you guys, if I can commandeer the show entirely.
Please,
you are the co-host.
Thinking about this today, it was like, thinking about the teams in the division that are getting stronger. Buffalo rumored to be in on Robert Thomas today. Detroit rumored to be in on everyone. Montreal talking about Kadri, talking about big names. And thinking, can the Leafs realistically compete next season? Like, the whole premise of what we've talked about so far is, can this team retool? Can they restock the cupboards and go back next year and be good? So is there any world to you, Kip, where they can be good again next year? Are these other teams leaving them too far behind?
I think if... and we've done this already a lot, and others have done it as well. They look at the Boston Bruins, where we just thought that there was a period of 2 years ago when it was like it's going to fall off soon for the Bruins.
I'm not sold the Bruins have proved anything.
But to answer your question, they are still in it a year later.
In it, okay.
That's the best example I can give you of a rebound to get the Leafs back in it.
And that's depressing as hell. The Bruins' bright spot to me is they drafted James Haggins last year 5th overall because they dropped deep enough in the draft. They're going to get the 6th overall pick this year from the Leafs, or the 7th or the 8th, whatever it may be.
And they also dropped Minton in their lap.
Right. And so to me, that's part of a transition into, not this year. This year, they're no good. They're going to get beat in the first round by whoever they play if they make it.
And I think the Leafs fans next year would gladly think about making the playoffs and losing in the first round.
Okay. So if that's what we're talking about, squeak into playoffs and if things go great.
But is it towards trending up? So you just explained to me that Boston is trending up.
Okay.
Because they have pieces to build off of now. So can the Leafs get themselves back in next year like Boston and find a way with flipping a few pieces or getting a couple of free agents or having a college kid drop in their lap, get themselves back trending up?
Okay.
That's the goal.
Okay. So at that point, I'm talking about Austin Matthews' contract is what I have in mind right now, and the age of him and the age of Willie and the progression of you have to show them that you are trending up next year as contracts come up in a way that those guys are still looking like Matthews and Willie, and you still want Matthews and Willie and want to be paying $25 million for the two of them or whatever it's going to cost.
Yeah, that's a sales job too.
If you don't think you can do that, then you have to think about the rebuild, the bigger picture. The like, hey, we just need to do something much bigger than what we're talking about here. So in this scenario, I'm just saying, if you're trying to make playoffs next year, Ekman-Larsson, you probably need him. I don't know how you replace him. I don't know how you get somewhere else. I know I've talked about selling a bunch of guys, but I think you have to have the realistic conversation of, can they actually make playoffs next year? Detroit, Montreal, Buffalo, those teams are all better. Tampa's still there. Florida's going to bounce back.
It's really going to be tough.
And next year, the division looks so tough. So if you're not going to make
But
playoffs
this
next
isn't
year,
sneaking
what are you
up.
marching towards?
It's not sneaking up. We've been talking about Ottawa and Buffalo and
I haven't
Detroit
mentioned
and
Ottawa.
Montreal,
Jeez.
right? That we've mentioned, like they're coming on, right?
Ottawa's very
they've
good.
been stockpiling for 4 or 5 years now, and they're already better than the Leafs, and they have a pile of assets.
All these teams ahead of
Right?
them do.
So it's a big challenge next year for the Leafs.
So
Huge
are you
to make to get back into the race.
Yeah.
Forget about making the playoffs, just to get yourself back into the conversation.
I think there's two ways to look at it. Either like teams are allowed to have a down year in midst of competitive windows.
Mhm.
That happens a lot. Teams miss the playoffs here and there. So you could look at this season as a down year for a lot of guys. Matthews was hurt for a long time. You know, the Tanev,
Willie's missed a lot of
we
games.
know all the story, all the stuff on that side of it.
There's a lot of those things.
And different coach, different system, different set of eyes. Like for me, there's a world where they are a decent team next year.
I think that's a fair case.
Okay. So that's the one side of it you look at. The other side of it, it's over, baby. You look at the division, you look at the ages of your top stars, you look at what's happened in the past, you look at the lack of playoff success. It's time to just pull the Band-Aid off and just like Bukala said yesterday, take it down to the screws and just kind of start over. I just think it's a tough decision which one of those roads you're going to go down.
And I don't think you can just say, let's tear it down to the studs or whatever without finding out, without seeing if Willie's healthy, Matthews is healthy, your goalies are good, Tanev is back.
I think you go into this offseason, and I'm not sure who's going to be in charge. There's been some rumblings that maybe Brad's going to get another kick at the can here to fix this up. Like, if you go through this offseason and you make some you improve the team seemingly, and you go into next year and you get 30 games into the season and you still look like dog crap, then it's time to dynamite.
Yeah.
Then it's time to do it.
So then that means going into next year, you have to be taking the idea of being competitive next season seriously, which I think probably affects a little bit of what they do here in the coming week, in the coming 3 days.
And to your point, for the past 4 years, especially the last year and a half, 2 years, the Stars have never had more power.
Yeah.
So it may not be Keith Pelly's decision or Brad Treliving's decision. It may come down to Austin's decision or Willie's decision on where they are, what they're thinking, and do they still want to be part of this?
That to me depends too on the direction they declare. Like you see the Rangers have clearly declared, that they're going to be selling. The Canucks have declared, and all of a sudden you see guys like DeBrusk being like, I don't think I'm meant to be a part of a rebuild. You see Adam Fox not really fighting the rumors that maybe he would not want to be a part of what's going on there. I think if the Leafs were clearly doing that, you'd have Willie and Matthews going, no, I'm not spending the next 3 years doing this.
You would have to think that they've talked.
They're not
to
going
the-
to show cards right now.
You don't think they've probably had to talk to those guys about a direction at some point. No?
Not yet.
No.
No?
Well, what?
They just found out 6 days ago that
if,
they weren't
if,
making
if I'm
playoffs.
Austin or Willie,
Matthews was crowd surfing at 11 a week and a half ago. So.
if I'm Austin or Willie right now, why would I have that conversation now?
Why would Willie have
Right.
it at all?
You're right.
Willie will never have it until they decide they're tanking.
I think out of respect, you're going to go to those two guys this summer and just say, okay, first of all, you're going to do your end of the year meetings. You're going to get their thoughts on what worked, what didn't. What did you see? What did you feel? You're going to assess everything. And then at some point, it's going to be asked of them of how excited are you still to be here? It has to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
How did you like having Max Domi as your winger in the prime of your career here? It's like I don't think Matthews saw that for himself
Well,
this year.
if you're Austin, at some point you got to ask them, like, I lost Mitch Marner.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, I got how many different wingers over the course of the season, and Marner was never replaced.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how close are we to getting a player of that caliber? My season next year may depend on it again because it certainly was a factor in what I went through this past season.
You look at the teams who have looked like So they win a cup, and then they start to bottom out, and it's like, oh, here it comes. Washington looked like they were on the way out, and they kind of got some help from some guys coming up. Alexi Protas became a guy. Connor McMichael he scored 30 goals one year. For the Leafs, the things that can save you from hitting the bottom they're not there. They don't have the same guardrails. So, yeah, for Matthews, I think you'd have those conversations. Hey, could we be in on Robert Thomas? I know that's hard. We don't have the assets. If we're not able to get guys, then why should I feel optimistic? I don't know, man. It's
Jason Robertson. A lot of rumbles that Dallas isn't sure that they want to pay him $12, $13 million. I think based on what we know about the offer to Mitch Marner, and then the thought of potentially trading for and offering 13 or 14 million to Rantanen, that they would have no problem throwing Jason Robertson $13 or $14 million.
See, now we're talking.
Who, with the Leafs?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
no, now you're talking.
He's one of the top scorers in the league, Sam.
Has he scored 50 and 100 or 40
his numbers
100?
Are right up there with 5 of the big boys.
Okay.
I know he's flawed.
Okay.
Whatever flaws you have,
he shoots it in.
The man is a top National Hockey League goal scorer. Now he'd be.
Could you get someone who passes?
He's still one full season away from becoming eligible, but would Austin need to hang on another year before we can get to this guy?
I don't understand.
Jason Robertson is a restricted free agent.
This year?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to sign a 1-year deal to play next season for Dallas.
Is he? Okay. That's
if he doesn't,
yeah.
He
I'm
stays
just thinking,
home.
Wouldn't they just trade him before, if they don't want him now, trade him now?
It is a distinct possibility, but whatever the case is, I'm just hoping he gets to UFA is my point.
Oh, yeah. That's not happening. I see. Yeah. He's not just going to be there for the taking.
So can I find a caliber guy of that magnitude? Mm-hmm. You're probably right. He won't be in a position. If Dallas forces him to sign an arbitrated deal, it still could look as much as 11 or 12 million bucks for him on a 1-year deal.
Last few years, he's 109 points, 80 points, 80 points. This year, he'll get 90
I know
points.
there's
on pace for 95.
Did the Spit and Chicklets guys throw out Brady Tkachuk for
Jason
Robertson?
Yeah, Yandel had Tkachuk for Robertson today.
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but Jason Robertson has no trade protection, is my understanding, and I don't know. Does Ottawa take a crack at him and offer him that type of money? July?
I think Ottawa would. I think Ottawa is like a lot of Canadian teams where it's kind of tough to get guys to commit long term. And when you get a good guy at 26 who can score 100 points, I think you do that. So, yeah, but I don't know what the Leafs can give them. That's that.
Just to come full circle, these are the conversations. The one that we just had right now has to happen with a guy like Austin Matthews and his agent to go, Austin's first question is, what are you guys going to do to help me here? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm dying.
Well, yeah. And I'm looking at next year.
He could shoot one in the net.
Yeah.
You're playing, they stacked you in the top line against.
This roster will never allow him to become a 50-goal scorer again.
Okay.
Okay. Just know that.
Could he get 1 in 8 games?
I know.
He's the second highest paid player in the league, Kyper.
I know, but 4 of them are coming off the most emotional experience of his life.
Friday here, where I'm now.
I know.
What's happening?
I know.
Here?
I know.
Now that he's won something, Kyper's defending Matthews. It's like,
listen, I know Austin has his flaws. They all have their flaws, but I'm also the believer of you just can't serve people a $300 ticket and then come and see a 4th-line player.
No one goes to Jacobs and gets a steak and nothing else. Just a steak on a plate. Usually you get a couple of nice sides with it or something.
A couple Brussels sprouts.
It's not a steak. It's hamburger.
Oh, see, now that's slandering him. You're paying for top end.
No, I'm saying if you get rid of Austin, it's hamburger.
Oh, God, it's
hamburger with them. It's
and
hamburger
Kyper,
with
he sounds like a defense lawyer.
I just think that going into this deadline, if you're dead serious about being competitive next year, making the playoffs, you have to be in on those names, on real players. You have to be an acquiring team with guys for term that are young. Otherwise, you're just doing the slow march down until you have to sell, until you delay a rebuild.
So if you are in that mode, then it is important, bringing it to this year's deadline, to pick up a few tradables, to pick up a couple assets that another team may want.
Yes.
Because right now,
That's what I said, be oversellers. Sell everything, go to the draft.
And try to get some picks and maybe a prospect that might be interesting to somebody.
Now,
Adam Fox.
Would you guys be interested in Austin Matthews getting traded for 4 pieces, much like Quinn Hughes?
You know what's funny is before you walked in the studio today, I've got a tweet from someone here, my boy NL King, awesome follower of the show, and he asked about Nyes. He said, what about Nyes to the Islanders? And he said, would you do Atchison? They drafted him this year, 16th overall, Heineman, Yzerman, and a first. I was like, I would do Matthews for that. I would do Matthews for Atchison, Heineman, Yzerman, and a first, I think. There's a world where at that point you're just committing to a full, proper rebuild. It's Willie too.
Which means missing the playoffs next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's
missing it the year after. Maybe 3 or 4 years of missing the playoffs. That's not in the equation.
Playoffs?
Well, then
I know.
So to me, it's like, do you want to be in a position where the teams in your division are, where San Jose is about to be, where Chicago's about to be? These are the teams who are going to win the next cups, by the way. The teams who have been bad for a while. They got a ton of picks, assets, young players coming.
It's just the deadline stuff. I mean, I was yelling at Kyper about this before the show even started, but the tone around the Leafs right now from everyone who knows stuff, not loving it.
Yeah, it's going to be like, we traded McMahon and
Carlo.
There's
people screaming that they have to get a first rounder. They have to get a first rounder.
But like the first year the Leafs have sucked, everyone's like, none other guys have any value. But every time the Leafs need to trade for somebody, they're like, that guy is 2 first-round picks, 100%.
Not any value.
People are driving down the value of every Leafs guy. When it's reversed, it's the Leafs tax. Leafs are playing the Leafs tax of trading for players.
I'll tell you players. I'll tell you what's happening right now. Okay, it's the same thing every year. Few days into the week, everybody's sitting on the big boys. Okay, everybody's got their wish list. The Robert Thomas is out there. Kadri, Pettersson for sure is being mentioned. So they're all focused on that. And the Leafs don't have that. So it's much like last year. So Brad Treliving is going in this time last year, and his wish list was Rasmus Andersson and Braden Shen. Okay?
And Rantanen, too.
Rantanen.
0 for 3.
Yeah, please, Rantanen, please. No. That was never in the cards, ever.
0 for 3.
Ever. Okay? It wasn't real. The Marner for...
Well, that's why they overpaid.
It was never. It was never there.
They were working until noon.
It was like flipping coins in a fountain. Okay? It's not real. This was real. That they sat and tried for Shen and Rasmus Andersson. And then once
they won Game 7 with that.
Once that gets cleared up, or once that you understand that it's either going to work for you, it's not going to work for you, then you go to the other pieces right now. So the Leafs, you have to sit. You have to sit and wait patiently now on your guys, because they're not on the top of the wish list right now for teams, and everybody's sitting on the wish list.
It's funny, I was saying to you guys before that, like, for 8 years the Leafs have been buyers at the deadline, and every year it's a seller's market. This year it's a buyer's market, it sounds like. It's like the 1 year that the Leafs are actually trying to sell some pieces. It's backwards. But I will say the one thing
I go on our website. I love our website. I love everybody that does all the work on the website.
All right.
And it's like Adam Vignan, 5 bargain bin NHL trade candidates. Who's the picture? Scott Lawton. It's like, are we trying to make the Leafs guys worth nothing? Like
why do you think
Because it's the Leafs. Nobody wants to seem biased to the Leafs, so they drive their value down.
Why do you think that matters to the shopping?
Because I think
you think
people are worried about being pro-Leafs that they say, this guy's worth nothing. This guy's worth nothing. But it's the other way around. They're like, they got to trade a first to get that guy. That's how I feel.
You think GMs are basing their
No,
decisions
but I
at
think the
deadline
coverage
based
is.
on-
I think the
they're
coverage.
going to the website and they're going, oh my goodness, he's
I'm not talking about the GMs. I'm talking about the coverage. I'm talking about the way that people are talking about the Leafs guys. That's how I feel.
okay.
Okay.
I love Scott Lawton. I
Yes.
love a lot of things
Worth
about
nothing.
him,
Bargain bin.
but
Just get him for nothing.
he's been on the fourth line most of the year. He got a coach that doesn't play him all that much. It's like, what do you think teams are trading for? They're trading for a fourth line guy right now, Sam.
I think he's got a long enough track record that they have an idea who the player is, though. I don't necessarily agree that people look at his stats this year and go, that's what he is now.
You can look at any way you want, and I can. It won't matter.
Yeah.
It's what the person who thinks he's trading for is going to get him on.
Totally.
So they're turning around and they're saying, you think he's worth a first round pick? You haven't used him. Here are his stats. Here's his, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay.
I have no interest in debating the value of Scott Lawton.
But
Right now. I don't even know why we're doing this.
but last
because he's bringing it up because he's saying they're all bargain
Okay, can
basement
we
prices.
end this one and carry on with the show?
But last year, you're like, oh, like if you're going to get Lawton, got to give up a first. Like, it's just, you said those things. It's just,
That
I'm
was
just,
the price
I'm
then.
I'm noticing.
That
I'm
was
just
the price.
noticing. That's all.
So is
I'm
it
noticing.
a Toronto thing,
Yes,
Sammy?
100%.
Oh, my God.
That people don't want to seem like they're being favorable towards the Leafs. It's like all the different stuff. And they're not being like, Bobby McMahon, I haven't seen one person be like, they could fetch a first.
The market is the market.
All right.
Okay? And
I
there's
disagree.
nothing you can do.
Okay. That's
And
fine.
if there's
End of
someone out there
conversation.
that's willing to give a second rounder for Scott Lawton, chances are they're going to have to do it in the last second. So Carlo was out there last year.
He's worth a fourth in a bag of pucks this year.
Lawton
actually
was out there
been waiting
last
to
year.
talk about him.
They were out there for quite a while, and you just hope and pray that someone's going to come and meet your price.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Treliving did last year, albeit at the last second. You can hope for that on Lawton, but right now, if there was a second to be had right now, and a team was willing to pay for it, it would have been done by now, Sam.
If you can't get a second for Scott Lawton, just extend him. You're trying to win next year. You need guys.
It may happen.
Yeah.
It may happen.
Just extend Lawton.
Like,
I don't need
I
a third
think-
rounder for Scott Lawton.
I think at this point, I'd be surprised if both McMahon and Lawton are traded. Both of them. One, I can see one,
yeah.
but-
Yeah, you don't think both.
but I don't think both
Yeah.
are going to be gone by Friday. I could be wrong. Maybe they get a team ready to pull the trigger, but the chances are it'll be maybe one of them, not two.
Yeah. The Athletic had an article today on, like a bold prediction for every team, and what they're going to do at the deadline. The one thing that stood out to me is there were 5 or 6 teams that I counted where the bold prediction was acquire a right shot D man. That's what they're going to get, a right shot D. And you look at the right shot D market out there, there's Ristolainen and Tyler Myers.
Yeah.
Like Murphy's gone.
Yep.
And so I wonder if teams
Ristolainen and Justin Falk.
Yeah, okay. So there's a few guys.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Carlo, though, if 5 or 6 teams are looking for a right shot D, might have more value than we think. Like
What are they paying for him? Because Boston's still eating, right?
325, I think they're paying him.
It's
nothing.
a really good price.
You can't double retain anymore, though, can you?
No, you can't.
No. So he's 325, and if I'm not mistaken, they have him for next year too.
Yes.
And he's, coming off a year where things didn't go great.
But
right?
he looks way better today than he did the
last
first
10
few months.
games, his numbers have been as good as they've been all year. All of a sudden, you got a cheap Carlo right shot D. A bunch of teams want to run. To me, he's better than Tyler Myers if you're looking for based on age and the big games he's played in. I don't know. Part of my thinking on this is like Ekman Larson. Everyone's talking about him. You can do this with him next year. And who's to say he's not any good next year? He's not 38. He's 33.
I don't think he plays a style where I
don't think he's going to hold up?
No, he plays a style where I don't think it's going to fall off that much.
He skates so well,
Right?
And these guys who are elite talents.
The only part that worries about me about Oliver Ekman-Larsson is wear and tear,
Sure.
right?
But I just think
He may break
if
down.
you are trying to make
May
playoffs
break
next
down more.
year-
So what we've come up with here is we're keeping everybody.
No, I think Carlo has more value, I think. And I like Carlo, but I think he might have more value than Odell.
I think Tanev's expected to have surgery, so whatever's ailing him, I think he'll have plenty of time to now get ready for the fall.
Wish he had done that, but
Wah. A lot of wah. People talking about wah.
Let me ask you something, guys. I mean, we haven't really discussed this, but Matthew Nyes, like just simply, like, are we going to just hand him over the I wasn't healthy card here because he's regressed?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think if you don't like his year, the solution is to put him on the trade block. Unless you get that deal from the Islanders.
I'm not remotely thinking about that.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe people not holding his feet to the fire? Have we given him a pass this year too much? It's been pretty uninspired.
Well, I mean, you're certainly not going to trade him right now because his value will never be worse than it is at this very moment.
Right.
I think if you're thinking about it, I just think he's part of the team. Maybe a couple of years down the road, but I think you have to figure out, he was so good last year. And he's had a down year, some injuries. I haven't loved a lot of the year, but I don't think you're just giving up on him now unless it's for.
No, nobody's saying giving up.
But
I'm
if
just
it's part of a Robert Thomas package, sure.
Did we overvalue him? Is he still projected
I
for
think
you to
he's
be
unique.
one of the best power players in the game?
He's probably worth a fifth.
I think he's unique. I think he is 23, big, already had, a 29-goal season. He can play on the top line. No, I don't think he's overvalued.
I sent out a tweet today to ask for fake trades, and I was totally overwhelmed by the response. I don't even know where.
I was going to retweet the tweet, to help make sure we had enough content for the show. You had put it out 5 minutes earlier. There were 53 comments. I was like, I think he's good.
There's 230 replies to it. I don't even know where to start. I'm overwhelmed. So we got Gord coming up. We'll do Gord. I have a couple of good ones.
What does fake trades mean? Benoit for McDavid?
How about this one?
Feasible.
How about this one? To Edmonton. Bobby McMahon, Nick Waugh, a 2027 fifth-round pick. Okay, had to add that in there. This is from Cake McJabe on Twitter, which is hard to say. To Toronto, Andrew Mangiapane, Isaac Howard, 2027 first, 26 third.
I always struggle with the pick math.
You're sending him McMahon and Nick Waugh?
And Nick Waugh, and a fifth-round pick. And you're getting back Mangiapane, Howard, a first, and a third.
So you're getting back Howard first.
Who are you giving up a first for?
What's that?
Well, you're giving up a first to get Waugh, and you're getting off the Mangiapane money.
They're spare parts. Nick Waugh is a spare part.
Yeah, no good. Played 16 minutes for a Stanley Cup team 2 years ago. He sucks.
You want to give away his $3 million next year, you're going to get a fourth-round pick.
All right.
Okay, stop it.
The Mangiapane thing is taking money on for them.
They're not. None of the guys worth anything.
We're not, 250 of those. If they're all like that, that's the last one you're reading.
Let's hit the break. The Leafs it's like the zigzags played for the Leafs.
My God.
They're trying to trade Cuddy for a second-round pick.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Extend Cuddy.
Cud's got sick game out there, but he's only worth a sixth.
It's going to be a long 21 games.
4 years, you mean?
It's going to be a long, till Friday, 3 p.m. All right, let's take a break. We got Stellicktricity after the break?
Sure. I hope.
Gordo, come and save our block. When we return, Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. A little electricity for us coming up. Is he ready? All right, here he is with all the answers. Former Toronto Maple Leaf general manager, Gord Stellick, does a great job on our show. Gordo, how are you, my friend?
You know something? I got complimented about being on your show a couple of times last night. I sat in the seats at a game. A friend, Dean Anderson, invited me to the game. And for the first time ever, I was under the flag for the anthem and then the Leaf flag when they tried to get the crowd going, rather unsuccessfully. I felt like I was a 1 or 2 year old. Remember those parachute parties?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of fun I'm having now rather than expecting to win games. So I'm good. I'm good.
Love hearing it. Now, if we went back to 1988, 1989, when you were the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, am I in the ballpark?
Glory years.
Right?
Yeah.
All 180 pounds of you back then? What would you do today with this roster closing in on a Friday deadline?
Well, I faced kind of a similar situation, but it was an expected situation. So we were fortunate to get 2 first-round picks as assets in the Ken Rega trade. Okay, so but you can't work miracles. Okay, so here's the thing: all of a sudden the Leafs are sellers. Okay, let's get assets. The cupboard is bare. Okay, you're doing a reno on your house. There's no supplies. There's no carpenter. There's no electrician. There's no HVAC. Okay. All you can get is a guy to put a few more shingles on the roof because it's leaking and you don't want it to fall in. Okay, so you can still look at making good hockey deals, but not cosmetic deals to go, golly gee, wow, we got a late second round pick for Bobby McMahon. Take a look what a late second round pick has done historically. Now, one other tactic, Kippy and Justin, you may be better plugged in there. What about the nudge, nudge, wink, wink thing? Bobby McMahon, Scott Lawton, we're going to get assets for you, but we want you back. Do you want to be back July 1st? Here's what we'll pay you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that would be a little innovative. I think every Leaf fan thinks they can do the opposite of the Brendan Carlo trade. They can do that kind of trade, which unfortunately now has come to bite them in the ass a little bit, getting a top prospect like Fraser Minton and a first-round pick. First-round picks still have value. I'm all for that. But let's not expect miracle. Oh, we're going to stock the cupboards and shelves in a couple of days. They're screwed when they're thinking about the future. Just ask Chicago, Buffalo, Detroit. It does not happen overnight. And they had their draft picks.
So do you feel like this team then has a path to be competitive next season? Because that is kind of the story we're being sold, right? Like, this is like, oops, we just kind of fell off, get back on the horse next year, and we'll be the Leafs again, top 3 in the division.
Well, this team's lost the path, but can they find the path again? Because, Justin, F1 race, you see an F1 race start on the grid, and then all of a sudden the race goes, and there's one car that doesn't start, and they're out of the race. And oh my goodness, Ferrari's pissed off, or whoever they all are, whatever, Wajid Khan, Duffer Mazda, whatever his car, probably, whatever. Anyway, they don't start. That's been the Leaf season, and it's made no sense. It's made most sense from the team that came first last year and the team that played playoffs 9 years in a row. And that's not a distant memory. That's a recent memory. Being a Stanley Cup contender, that's not a realistic this is not a realistic present compared to it was a few years ago. But you're going to be back with Matthews. You're going to be back with Nylander. And sometimes in this world, a lot of things go wrong. I know the Chris Tanev injury is making him look like a Hart Trophy candidate. You had indifferent goaltending. Your D-corps that you brought back. And I don't think anyone can argue. It's not been the same. They don't get the pucks to the forwards either. They say, like, why is everything broken down? So much so Craig Berube touching his head, touching his heart. Isn't that stuff they had? Isn't that stuff that was instilled in them? Can they instill it again? So, Justin, you've got to go back at it, in my opinion, to some kind of degree. It's more of a salvage mission now rather than thinking, wow, we got a great chance to win the Stanley Cup.
Gordo, these cars that you speak of, are you driving?
Yeah. Well, I'm not driving the Ferrari, but I'm driving, Wajid Khan Duffer Mazda CX-90. I've had it forever. 2451 Duffer, north of Eglinton on the east side. You know that.
I only ask, Gord, because I've been in a car with you, and I'm not saying that you're slow, but but there was a dog pissing on our wheel.
Well, I know. You know, it's not a Ferrari. I am. You'll be happy to know I got my first speeding ticket in 100 years last week. I said, like, Lisa's going to be ecstatic because she gives me crap all the time about being a old man driver. So there you go, Kippy. I wish you were with me.
You are watching and listening to electricity behind a Ferrari these days. When you watched the Leafs last night, Gord, I know everybody's kind of off the playoffs and the standings and all of that, but what's important for you now, past the trade deadline to see for the next 21 games?
So, okay, it's called garbage time, and I maybe overuse it. I don't use it disrespectfully, but I use it, first of all, because we would have had it back in my day when you were sort of not mathematically, realistically out of the playoffs, and all of a sudden, Gord Stellick gets you 8 goals in the first 60 games, and then he gets 10 in the final 20. I go, like, I couldn't give a bleep about that. We were out of it then. Ideally, is you like to see the young players play like Gabe Perreault did last night with the New York Rangers, got 3 points. Leafs don't really have young players. Easton Cowan took a penalty early and really didn't play much after that. It's kind of sad. Like, God rest his soul. I don't know how many times you've played on a team like this. I love Dan Maloney. I love Dan Maloney, the player, the coach, consummate professional. But he was assistant coach when I was with the Leafs when we came dead last. And we got Wendell Clark first overall in the draft, which was great. But I remember there were about 12 games left in the season. Practice was about to start, and he's getting ready for it. He's putting his skates on, and he goes, "Gordy, don't you wish the season could end yesterday?" And he was a pro. But I'm telling you, that's how they feel right now. Don't you wish to see? So anyway, the minimum you can do, because you're not going to get your system, like it's too late for all that. So whoopee-ki-yay, you find whatever it was you were lacking the first 60 games. You got to put on a great show at home, okay? You can't do what you did last Saturday. These are your diehard fans. That's a minimum, okay? You got to go, put on a great show for your hometown fans for a starter. You want to try to end the season on a positive note, of course. And then unfortunately, you don't have a ton of young players, but this is generally where you try to give them that opportunity to play in roles that they wouldn't get to play if you were a playoff team.
Gord, how much value is there in the idea of getting guys who the fans want to see? I know Brian Burke talked about he wanted to get guys at times that put on a show, and I've worked with Daryl Sutter, and when they took over the Flames, he said that's one thing they wanted to do. They want to get some Western Canadian guys that played a way that the fans could connect with. I'm not saying for the Leafs in general, but is that a factor where guys are looking at players and going, that guy puts on a show, and that matters to our organization?
Well, maybe to a degree. I don't know who that would be right now. I remember Nathan Dempsey, like he was a marvel, right? When he was up, the fans
I think it's part of the Max Domi appeal. He's got games where he can.
Yeah, you want a show, but you don't want a sideshow.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I want him to approach the shootout a bit different than last night. But anyway, the thing is, Brad Treliving said he wanted more snot in his team, and he got Joshua Waugh and Michelli, right? And that wasn't an unfair observation of the team. But you can't get snot at the expense of not scoring. You can't get snot at the expense of not playing D. So the player that is kind of a fan favorite, that's gone for this year. I mean, do either of you guys know the only player who scored 20 goals the last time the Leafs didn't make the playoffs in that season?
I'm going to Sam on this one.
P.A. Parento.
P.A. Parento,
wow,
right?
nice.
That's where. So, but the Leafs have Austin Matthews and William Nylander and John Tavares, but that's the kind of team and season they've had this year when they didn't have those guys. And P.A. Parento was kind of the fun player that got 20 goals. There's no fun player right now. This season ain't fun. No. This style they played has not been fun. But your premise is a correct one.
So last night, Gord, with your theory of getting some kids in there now, or, Easton Cowan certainly would be in that. Disappointing for you that he only played a little over 8 minutes?
I've been a little puzzled at times about his usage, and I took the penalty early in the offensive zone. I guess that was it. I don't know. Like you've got hardly anybody else. So yeah. So to answer your question, yes. Like why not? Like why not play him? What? It's not like you scored a ton of goals. I know you put the big line back together and trying that thing, but There's hardly any other young players, but I'd play them. Yeah, 100%. That's at least one thing we did when we didn't have very good teams. When you're out of it, play the guys. You know that, Kyper. You'd want to get a chance sometime, right?
Just give me a chance, Gord. Just give me a chance.
Gord, how fast were you speeding when you got your ticket?
He was doing 61 and a 60.
I got 35 and a 30.
Well, 35. You got a 35 and a 30.
No, you did not.
No. I'm betting
him.
that's a Gord.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, he knocked it down. He was nice. I was on, what do you call it, Glencairn. I visited my mom in the seniors residence. Whatever. Like, that's a great story. She's 96, whatever. It's the middle of the day. And the sirens now, it sounds like a SWAT team. It must be one little siren. Like, I thought there was a mass murder got pulled over, and all the cars.
You're a criminal, Gord, if you speed.
Yeah, well, anyway, that was it. And they two guys looked over everything. But anyway, it was my brush with the law. So, Kyper, I can be a bad boy on the road, just so you know that, okay?
Bad boy,
so you gotta, and I'm a curler, and we take no crap, okay?
Love
it. A lot's gone on the last 2 weeks in El Gordo's life.
Enjoy the rest of the trade week, my friend. Thanks for doing this.
Will do, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Gord
Gordo.
Stellick.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what show means when you say that because if guys stand out with their play, with their physicality, I mean, it's just them being them, right?
Who puts on a show in the NHL? Brady Tkachuk has a show every single time he plays.
Florida's Ryan Lomberg, who's in Calgary. Is that a show to you?
Yeah.
See, that's not a show to me. That's just
so
him.
To me, I think it's a willingness to get in someone's face, to stand up for teammates, to fight, to score, to have pace to your game, to finish checks, to make the glass rattle.
Yeah.
To be noticeable.
As I said earlier, but you just don't want it to be on someone's own agenda.
Totally. Look
right?
at me.
Look at me. Look at me. It's okay. We lost,
Right.
3-1, but I'm the one that scored.
Knocked out a pane of glass with the body check. And
anyways, you mentioned to me a former teammate of mine, Brian Leach, traded.
Yes. I don't think my mic's working.
I think every time we go to a guest.
What is going on? 2026. His mic has to shut off.
I guess. Yeah. Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
What was the trade? Do you remember the trade?
I can look it up.
Okay, because they gave up a boatload, and the only thing I can remember is I don't think any of the boatload that the Rangers got for Brian Leach turned into anything. And we're talking about first and second rounders.
That's all. That's how this happened.
Yeah.
This is why teams need to go for it sometimes.
Yes. Well, that's
it's such a prime example of this time of year where you're like, don't be so scared.
Yes.
It was on this day in 2004 that they traded him for a lot of for Maxim. Oh boy, tough names here. Kontranditov,
okay,
Yarko Immerman, and a round 1 pick that turned into Chris Chucko, a second round pick in the 2005 draft.
Oh my!
You can't have a better example than
Chris
that.
Chucko.
I remember Chucko. I played junior hockey against him. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Could Chucko check him?
Yes.
Chucko is an all-time handle.
He was a good junior player.
But I will say, the Brian Leach experience as a young man training for the Toronto Maple Leafs was incredible.
Can I say something?
When he came over, it was just like, oh my God, this exists?
I don't think people realize that year how good that team was.
That Leafs team.
That Leaf team.
But that Leafs team was unbelievable.
Yes. That was still the Tucker era and
would you like me to
and McKay.
Who'd they run into? Islanders?
No, they lost to Flyers, I think.
Would you like to name some dudes?
Name some dudes. Everyone loves naming dudes.
Matt Sundin, Brian McCabe, Joe Newendike, Gary Roberts, Owen Nolan, Darcy Tucker, Antropov, Caberlet, Reichel, McGillney, Ken Klee, Ponokarowski, Stajan, Renberg, Ty Domi, Carl Pilash, Tom Fitzgerald, Brian Leach, Ron Francis, Aki Berg, Richard Jackson, Cal Johansson.
Did you say the goalie?
The goalie, Ed Belfour.
Oh, my God.
Trevor Kidd rocking the greasiest chin tee you've ever seen.
You know what killed that team, eh?
No. Jeremy Roenick.
No.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the following year.
The lockout.
The lockout.
Yeah. But
and it wiped out contracts.
That is how the Leafs would go down, right? Some dramatic way.
And then they had all these guys, and poor John Ferguson Jr. was like, get under a cap.
Yeah.
We're the Leafs.
Yeah.
And then
that's a tough spot.
Kind of was the beginning of the end. But yeah, I think that's when Jeremy Roenick down the right wing shot it in the net.
See, what happened? What
now.
needs to happen right now is you got to get rid of a few bodies, and then Cowan will play 15 minutes because there's nobody around.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
Quillen's going to play. You'll see Bo Grewal.
Quillen's my fourth line center next year.
Quillen is, yeah.
Yeah.
For
all
sure.
day long.
Nah, you got to non-tender him. Let the Bruins sign him. Let him cut him.
It is fascinating to see how this is going to play out, but I do think that it will be interesting after the deadline just to talk about some new guys, see some new guys.
Yeah, that'll be fun for one show.
New guys here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all draft picks. They're picks.
New to us, pal.
You think
They're all
you think
10th round picks.
You think they're going to get some bodies in here?
No, I do think that you'll see Quillen, Bo Grewal.
Oh,
Luke
okay,
Haynes
yeah,
will get
from the
games.
Marlies.
Yeah.
From the Marlies. Okay.
Maybe you see.
Is there a
Villeneuve
chance that
for
they
a
could
game.
make a hockey trade? No.
You tell me.
I don't have confidence.
You're the board man.
I don't have confidence that that's
And I'm
what's
still
going to
into
happen.
the
I just wanna know-
250 people that replied to me, and I read one of them, and Kyper made fun of me for the rest of my life for it. So no more trades.
No. Tomorrow. I'm going to let you
Well,
read.
we
No,
can
no,
those in
save
the
them.
NHL.
Save them.
Save 'em.
No.
Judging on that reaction, no shot.
Save them.
That's
Yeah, I don't like that. Okay? We need to respect our followers, Sammy.
Okay, yeah, you sure respected Cake McJabe.
I just didn't agree with him. That's all.
For sure.
It's okay.
that's what the process is.
Thanks to Gord Stellick. Welcome into the National Hour of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. We are live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet. Can't catch us live, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where we appreciate a thumbs up. Always available. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. In a few minutes, we'll welcome in Jason Demers. Does a great job, former NHLer. And that job is on the NHL Network as one of their key analysts. In the meantime, we keep an eye on the clock. We keep an eye on our phones, the internet, see if anything comes down the pike. Lots of talk, lots of rumblings. JB, where do you want to start, my friend?
Connor Garland potentially getting traded to the New York Islanders.
Ooh.
I don't have anything on that being official, but that is the rumor online as of the moment.
He is an Islander type of guy, isn't he?
He's a
like
pro,
a little
he's
undersized with a
competitive.
huge heart.
Yes, he very much fits what they are. You know, maybe you worry about the age or the term of that deal. Like no trade protection deal hasn't started yet. 6 times $6 million, but he is a lot of things that I love. I love the way he plays. He's so smart. He works so hard. He gets in guys' faces. You know, there are other players for the Islanders that maybe I would love more. I think Kypreos is a really good fit for them. You know, a speedy winger with some term and age. Like I think they could use something like that, but I like Garland a lot. The Tyler Myers addition to that is also being rumored, and that I'm not sure about. I'm not sure how that works.
Myers still weighing out his options in a total no-move clause situation where I think he's trying to weigh out his options. Detroit is still there as far as I've heard, unless Detroit goes in another direction and closes that door. I think it remains open for Myers as well.
I'd seen Dallas as well as a potential Myers destination.
Yeah. Well, we saw the demand on right-handed defensemen.
Mm-hmm. Assumption. I mentioned that in the first hour. 5 or 6 teams looking for that.
Edmonton Oilers scheduled to play the Ottawa Senators tonight. I haven't heard whether or not Connor Murphy will be in the lineup or not, but they'll try to get that guy in as fast as possible, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. You would think so. Curious to see, what else they do, what else they can do. I guess they got to move Mangiapane before they can do anything.
Well, he cleared waivers. They'll move
1.5,
I think. 1.5.
I think it's 1.15.
1.15, which isn't a ton.
No,
but
they need to get rid of him properly. And I think they will. They won't have any problem at the deadline finding someone to take him.
You think maybe that if they were somebody was gonna take him, they probably would have done it already.
I think the Leafs tape a fourth to him or something, or some way to just say, hey, take this money for the rest of the year. And next, he's fine. He's not terrible. He's had a pretty good run of games here. So yeah, that's one move looking out for.
The Thomas one too seems to be looming.
Thomas heating up to Buffalo. That one seems likely. The one thing that you had mentioned, I think Buchagras had tweeted that if that were to happen, one of the potential names in play is Owen Power. Obviously 6'6", young guy, offensive upside, plays down the lineup a bit for them.
Buffalo's needs to get rid of a defenseman.
Yeah.
So that is totally possible.
Powers, if I'm St. Louis, you're kind of betting on, can this guy hit, as a first round pick, not that first overall pick, can he get to the level?
I don't know where his total upside is. I do know that he's playing a lot better now than probably his first 100 games.
Yeah.
So
I just know you go to Buffalo's fancy stats. The one thing they don't do well is defend. And I think Power is not awesome at that yet.
All right. As promised, we deliver. Jason Demers joins us from the NHL Network, former National Hockey Leaguer, 700 games played with the Sharks, Stars, Panthers, Coyotes, Oilers, you name it. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm not Noel anymore, so I got out, guys.
That's awesome. Good to see you.
And now I'm blurry, but I thought I'd give a cool background this time for you.
We
guys.
love it. Is your phone as quiet as mine right now?
What's going on?
It seems like it. It's eerily quiet. The good thing is I ain't no insider.
No, but you are an insider. You were
I was inside the room, but I like to, I don't know. I like to I still love being a fan and enjoying and watching Elliot Friedman do what he does and all these other analysts. And But yeah, we have our NHL Network chat has been kind of buzzing. We heard the news about Robert Thomas potentially going to Buffalo, so we're all like, "Ooh!"
How do you
awesome.
see that fit, Jason?
I think if depending on what you're giving back, I heard Power would be going back, so that's an interesting one. I know Michael Kesselring is there. He would probably jump up, and maybe that would mean if Owen Power is going the other way, that they're probably looking to bring in another defenseman. Maybe Yarmo wouldn't be done, and they'd look to bring in, let's say, Rasmus Ristolainen or something like that to kind of shore up the back end with a more of a traditional righty-lefty. But Robert Thomas is a 200-foot centerman, and I think if you throw him in that lineup with what they already have, I mean, it's one of the best, if not the best, forward groups in the NHL. I think and especially at the center position. Ryan McLeod's having an incredible year. And I think adding Robert Thomas at that piece only strengthens. I think they'd just be so strong down the middle. And in an Atlantic division with other than, I'd say, Tampa Bay, who's consistently been, the best team in the NHL, I would kind of have them up there with Detroit, maybe better than Detroit.
It totally changes the look of their team if they're able to make some. See, this is the thing that has gone wrong for Buffalo for so many years, is that when you're good and your team buys and you get these assets, like you're supposed to fill in around this eventually. And, this is one of the reasons we talked about the Leafs in the last hour, where you're starting to get left behind. You're really going to get left behind as these teams become buyers at the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to the Leafs, I watched that game last night between them and Philly. And if you're a GM and you don't think both those teams are sellers in some capacity, I mean, you're kidding yourself. That was a pillow fight and nothing against the guys out there. I just don't think they have what it takes to make it to the playoffs. And even if they do make it to the playoffs, what's the point to get ousted in the first round in 4 games or maybe win one in 5? And I understand that you're trying to do right by the fan base for Toronto maybe, and they're the longest, they have the longest active streak of making the playoffs. But I think it's time. They look slow. They need to get younger. They need to refill kind of their prospect pool. And I just think we kind of all got to look in the mirror and say, they attempted something with bringing in Nick Waugh and Lawton and OEL, and they tried to kind of get this veteran heavy team, and it just they ran into a slew of injuries. Their goaltenders, which had great years last year, were both injured at different times. They weren't able to get their footing, and it's like they came out of the break listless. Like they don't look like they have anything. And it's if I'm a GM or if I'm Tree there, I'm like, all right, it's time to kind of see what we can't get prospect wise, and because they don't have the best prospect pool in the NHL, and they need to refill a lot. So I'm like, no better time than now. If you wait another year, to your point, I mean, the gap just widens and it continually widens. Like you got to think of the organization over the next 5 to 10 years, not just next year.
Jason, if we were to go back at the beginning of the season and start who's going to make it and who's not, and today we woke up and we see the likes of the Rangers and the Leafs and Florida, St. Louis, I had picked as a team to win the Stanley Cup based on what I saw against Winnipeg within a second of beating them. Where do we rank the Edmonton Oilers on this list of disappointments?
Aren't they just so much fun to watch and criticize and support? And I think they took the step in the right direction. They went in, they tried to address the goalie position. I don't think they did it in the right way, but they tried to. It didn't really work out. So now they went to the second best thing, which is their decor. I think Connor Murphy is a big upgrade on the right side for them. I think he's going to help. I think I would keep trying to find whatever you can find if I'm Edmonton, because again, I think I was on with you guys earlier in the season, and it's like when Connor signs that deal, the clock's ticking, and you should be swinging for the fences. And if this team's bad for the next 10 years, but they win a cup with Connor because of what they do now, I think it's worth it. And if you ask anybody in Edmonton, they'd take that, 9 times out of 10. So I'd like to see them. They keep talking about getting a scoring winger, but I think decor. And if there's something out there in the goaltending position like Binnington that you could maybe finagle, I think you take that shot. But I think it's got to be decor. They got to get something so solid as a unit of 6 with 2 extras that you can plug in, a 7-8 that can veteran guys that can come in at a moment's notice and and fill that void, because that's what you need for this team to go on a long run. And I just think that's been their Achilles heel all season long. And they're going to score goals. Connor and Leon are going to get you goals. Zach Hyman's going to get you goals. One way or another, they're going to at least get 2 a game. So you just need to figure out how to get under 2 or stay within that realm. And I think it's decor and then, goaltender. But they tried it, and it hasn't panned out yet. But who knows? Edmonton has a way of surprising us, and it will be calling the series from Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Finals, and we'll all be wondering how the hell did that happen, but they'll have pulled it out somehow again.
Yeah, you talk about pillow fights. That division is why.
Well, who's going to win it? So you got Edmonton,
Vegas by Seattle.
Yes, go Utah.
Right,
who wants it?
I mean, who'd win the Pacific? I mean, right now it's Anaheim. To me, is the team that's kind of the most exciting. I had them making the playoffs this year. I didn't think they'd be within a stone's throw of first in the Pacific, but Vegas can't find a goalie, and I really, really doubt that Kelly McCrimmon is not going to address that position and go get somebody. And I would be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if like Binnington ends up in Vegas. And we have heard some people talking about that on Twitter. I would not be surprised one iota if he ends up there, because, they have a good enough team in their structure. They've just gotten sub 900 goaltending from everybody, and they can't find anybody to be consistent. So I could see that happening. And other than that, I think Anaheim is streaky enough to maybe do something crazy and finish first. And I love what they got, in net and Dostal. I mean, Dostal is really emerging as a bona fide number 1. And I like what Q's got going there in Anaheim. And they could sneak into that first spot if Vegas doesn't address the goaltending position.
Yeah, it also feels like it's just like, hey, Oilers, like, wake up. Like, it is there for the taking. Go play Seattle in the first round. That seems like an option for them. Wanted to get your thoughts on the evolution of no trade clauses in the NHL over your career from maybe, where they were then. Because it felt like, to me, very few players got them, and they were very meaningful early on. Now I look at like the Leafs roster, and they had trouble moving like David Kampf because he had one. Like, everyone has a no trade clause now, and everyone gets approached. The team goes to them all the time and says, hey, sorry about your no trade clause. We want to trade you. How do you feel about how this has all worked? Should it be okay to ask these guys? Should you give so many out?
Yeah, my thought on that is always like, they can give you a no trade clause, but if they want to trade you, they'll find a way to make you uncomfortable enough to waive it. If they really want to get you to waive that, a la Mitch Marner, they'll get you to move it. I had a modified no trade. I don't know how the hell I got it. And it ended up working out in my favor. But I really do think that if you're willing to give a guy that's on you, that's on an organization, it's not on the player. It's a one-time, now if that player doesn't live up to that, I think you have every right to try to get him to waive it, because it is kind of a two-way street. You're signing him thinking like you're going to be a guy that we're never going to think to move. And you're going to be such an integral part of this organization that if we do decide to move you, we're going to talk to you and we have a good enough relationship. But if it, melts down to the point where you're begging a guy to move it, I think that's on the organization as well as, the player not owning up to his side of the bargain. But I think that's something that's got to be weighed by teams, and it makes it kind of fun for fans, because fans just get up in arms and hate them when they see them. And so it's crazy. You're right. Like in the league, like some guys that have it, I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Yeah. Like who's the agent? Why didn't I have that when I was playing to get those kind of
Jason,
things?
you had a partial, you mentioned that there was an incident maybe or something that worked in your favor for it. Anything specific you can tell us?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of told this, I think a year or so. I think Pierre LeBrun outed me on it. But I had it when I was in Florida when I signed, and I signed that 5-year deal. And after year one, I mean, it was one of the worst years of hockey for a franchise in terms of, that was the year that Gallant got fired. They sent him in a taxi, and that was like Vinny Viola's first year as an owner. And I think it was like a learning curve, and we were just kind of the byproduct of it. And Tom Rowe was like trying to get back the GM position from Dave Talon. And it was just like this weird Dale Talon, sorry. And it was just this weird like power struggle that we suffered. So that year in the offseason, they were trying to move a bunch of guys. And I had found out that I was one of the guys that wanted to get moved. And they initially tried to move me to Calgary, and I think it was Calgary, and they ended up going to get Travis Hamonic, and I accepted it and was like, yeah, I'll go. It didn't work out, and we were at odds, me, Dale Talon, and Tom Rowe, and I think I talked to Dale Talon last year about it, and we were laughing about it when I saw him in Florida. But like, it's just, them's the breaks. That's just the way the business side works. And I had waived it the deal didn't end up working out. And then they called me to waive it to Vancouver. And I called a buddy of mine that was in the scouting department. I was like, who are they trying to trade me for? And I found out it was like Goodbranson. And I was like, well, I'm leaving this situation to go to a situation that'll be similar. I'm like, I don't think it's smart, and I was like, I'm also like, it was a different tax market. I was about to get a signing bonus. So I'm like weighing all this with my family. And I'm like, I think I'll just wait till after the free agency, July 1st. And then if they want to trade me, they can trade me. And we ended up, there was a phone call that was had with Dale Talon. He said, I'll send your ass to Phoenix, Arizona. And I was like, all right, do it. And then he ended up doing it. So he ended up winning that one.
Hey, golf,
but that's like
taxes.
Yeah.
That works fine out.
Taxes. But it was like no hard feelings of like, it's just the business side. Like as a player, you're your own business entity that you have to play for the team. And I understand that team is first always. And you're supporting the organization, the fan base that allows you the opportunity to make the money you're making. But at the end of the day, you also have a family, you have yourself, your own personal interest at heart. So you got to weigh all that. And sometimes it leans more heavily on your side than it does the team side and their interests. And sometimes it's the opposite. So it's the inner workings of it are wild. So I always say, like, beware a no movement clause if you're a player, because it's great when you sign it. And you feel so awesome when you're submitting your no trade, the teams you don't want to go to every year. And then until they really want to get rid of you. And one of those teams is on that list, and it's just so uncomfortable, and it's almost not worth it at that point. You'd rather just kind of have the fluidity and not be worried or bothered by it. But again, it's the business side of it, and you're thinking about protecting your family first and foremost.
So just on this, because I find this fascinating, because I never had any list. It wasn't a big deal, like, at all. Like, only heard maybe Mario.
Buddy, I got traded in the East Coast League. Right? I had none of that.
So what exactly did you have in your contract? 10 teams, 15, 5, 8?
It was 8.
Buddy, I'd need the month of August to figure out my 8. Yeah. Like, how easy did it come to you, or how much did you have to think about your 8?
Well, now that I'm 3 years removed, I can say it and be like, listen, as a guy signing that when I think I was like 29. And at that point I'd played in only nice cities and sunny cities and smaller markets. And, looking back, I'm like, maybe I should have just, went to Vancouver and taken that. And I tried to end up going to Vancouver near the end of my career anyway. But in that moment I was like, no cold weather, no bad taxes.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
interesting. Players think of that.
So I was like, players think of that. So, when players talk about it, and I know that teams can find workarounds, but for me, I was just like, that was that year that I had done it. And unfortunately, the 1 year, that I was able to exercise my no trade clause was like my first year in the year they were trying to trade me. So my no movement clause didn't last that long. And they were like, what the hell are we thinking, giving this guy 8 teams? Every team you want to trade him to, he put down there. So they shipped me to Phoenix, and, I ended up, joke's on them. I live here now, and I love it here. So
you golf? Are you a golfer?
Oh yeah. I get around. I'll give you money. I'm an easy win, but I'm a fun time.
It's an unbelievable place to play golf and live. So I know a lot of players want to see a team get back there at some point.
Should be back here.
So one of the names on the trade block is Jason Robertson. I can't really make sense of it. Not often a team has a guy who's 26, who scores, on base for 95 points this year, has a 100-point season, and they're just like, we don't think we want to do that. Is it competitiveness, not a playoff fit? What is it that I'm missing it just seems kind of out there that you can have that guy for the right price?
Yeah, well, as Keith Yandel so eloquently put it today, Jason Robinson.
Yeah.
But Robertson, I was, this summer I was kind of critical on him, and I thought his kind of season that that big season he had, that I think it was around 100 points, was a fluke, and was like. But this summer, and funny enough, I told this story too, is I was filming something for Body Armor with the NHL, and one of the guys I had to film was Jason Robertson. And when I showed up to the skate, I didn't know that he had heard the podcast where I kind of said his year was a fluke and Dallas should trade him. So he's kind of pissed off. He was kind of pissed off at me. And that was kind of my first, that was like my first foray as into the world of, you got to kind of own what you say. So, he was very gracious, and I ended up talking with him, and we did like this whole segment on like the way he thinks the game and the way he positions himself to score. And when I left that, I was like, I called everybody and was like, I was blown away at his hockey IQ and the way he thinks the game and the way he's so analytical, to the point where I was like, he's convinced me, this is a guy you sign, you keep. You're not going to find too many guys like that in the NHL that are like these hockey nerds that just study the game. There's a lot of them now, but his level of detail is like next level of he's like the angle of like a shift of his foot is in the way he pushes off for his first step, kind of dictates if he's going to get that half second extra to get a shot across out of the middle, and how he gets to the middle of the ice different than other guys, not being the fastest guy, and how he's kind of listens to what everybody says, and in the sense of like people say he's slow and doesn't compete in it, and it pisses him off. So like he does have a grind level to him that I think that most people don't see, because he's so reserved in the way he talks to the media. So I don't know why they haven't come to an agreement. I think with the cap going up, I think if you can make it work, you make it work. But sometimes when, as a team, you don't know what you have till it's gone. And I know a lot of people are kind of hung up on his playoffs, that, they might not, because they have a lot of big bodies up front, but they don't have a lot of like intense, crazy grit other than Jamie Benn. Like if you look at Rantanen, he's a big body, he'll push you around, but he's not like a guy that's going to, I don't want to say that he doesn't strike fear in you on the offensive side, but he's not going to take your head off for as big of a body he is. Same thing with Rupe Hintz, same thing with, Wyatt Johnston. So you have all these high skill guys that can score, but I think they might be thinking that maybe we're missing just that touch bit of grit. But I do think, from interviewing Jason Robertson and spending a little time with him, I think he has it. And I think they got to give him an opportunity to see it through one more time and maybe add something around him, add something on the bottom six in Dallas, because that's where I think they could use a little bit more and maybe a touch more scoring on that bottom six, because they're very top heavy. So yeah, it's tough. I was a hater on him, and now I kind of love him. So
Jason, 34 goals. Dallas has won 9 in a row. Would you mess with the chemistry right now with a blockbuster trade?
I wouldn't. I would just add to the bottom six, and I would add to potentially, I'm thinking of a long stretch run for them. And, you kind of know with what they have that they're going to, that first round, it's tough because you look at that Central and it's been set for, feels like 9 months, the whole season, that Minnesota is going to play Dallas, and then whoever wins that is going to get Colorado in round 2. So you're kind of thinking like, we've won 9 straight. We have this great team. Do we have enough to get through Minnesota, Colorado, and have enough left in the tank to get to the finals and not kind of fizzle out to, let's say, Edmonton, who sneaks through an easy path and gets them kind of beat up again in the conference finals? So I think if I'm Jim Nill, it's such a hard spot to be in. You're like, do we mess with this? But do I think that this team can get through these 2 teams of Minnesota? Who's going to add? Jim, yeah. I've talked to a couple guys in that organization, and they are kicking the tires and trying to bring on a couple pieces up front. And I just think they're going to push their chips in. I think we could potentially see a cadre reunion in Colorado. So I think they're probably thinking, like, if we stand pat and these guys add, to your guys' point of the gap widens after the trade deadline, do we want to hold, or do we want to try to add something and maybe improve just ever so slightly? So that's the thing Jim Nill's going to have to deal with. I don't think they will. I think they're probably going to weigh the options, and I'd be surprised if they do trade Jason Robertson. And only if they do, it's going to be for something so sizable that pushes them over the top. But I don't know if there's anything that's really out there that would be worth it.
Yeah.
In the short term.
Yeah, fair enough. Last one for me, and then we'll send you on your way. Elias Pettersson. I don't know if you saw his interview yesterday. He doesn't seem overly inspiring to listen to. I don't think that he wants to do this. Well, I mean, is his team going to trade for him? Carolina kind of comes up once in a while.
Yeah, he's a tough one because, I don't know I never want to assume on like certain guys' characters because I don't know what you got going on and if something's happened in your personal life. But like what I see eye test on the ice of like Vancouver chose him over, Bo Horvat, him and JT Miller. And then they chose him over JT Miller. And then basically borderline chose him over Quinn Hughes of sorts, even though I know that, they did their own job, Alvin and them, of messing that up with Quinn Hughes. But it's kind of his team, and it just worries me that a guy that's kind of been rolled out the red carpet, so to speak, by an organization hasn't taken way more ownership and at least shown something. And, I thought in the Olympics, I was kind of watching the Olympics to see how he would perform, and he played well. But again, I just think maybe it's one of those things of we're maybe just overvaluing him, and he's a good player. He's a really good player, but he's not going to be that jump off the page that he was, before he kind of started on that decline. So to me, I'm like, maybe it's teams are realizing that and teams are kicking the tires, but they're like, he's not worth a prospect and a couple first round picks. Like if we can get him on the cheap, he's a great addition. I think of Detroit, if they can get him for the right price, I think he's a great addition alongside Larkin and those guys, and he would really help that team. But I don't know if you're giving up prospects and picks if the haul's too big. I just don't think it's worth it, just from what we've seen the last few years, not just his play, but like his demeanor. Like I think, I always tell guys and was told when I was a young guy in the league, like everybody's always watching. There's somebody watching every game, every interview, and they're looking for things to pick apart, like a scout, a GM, anybody is looking at every little thing you do. So you got to make sure that you're on the ball with the way you're presenting yourself at the rink and away from the rink, and not just during the game, but like in every facet. And it took me a lot to learn that, but it's once that kind of reputation of yours gets shot, it's hard to get it back. And I mean, do I think he's fine with that deal in Vancouver? I think he'll survive. But if he wants more, I think he's going to have to change a lot in terms of his demeanor and the way he plays.
Jason, we go with the opposite principle on this show. We do it every day on the assumption no one's watching.
Yeah.
I'm always listening to you guys. Every now and again, I got the Twitter lined up to say, "What the hell are these guys saying?" but I delete it. We're always listening. Everybody is.
Yeah, I'm in my car after the show saying the same thing.
Hey, really great stuff, man. Thanks for doing this. We'll stay in touch. We're going to be leaning on you a lot. You don't know this, but you got a no move on our show.
Oh, I love it. And now I got a better background, so I might go back to the well here.
Awesome stuff.
I'll keep you guys guessing a bit. No, thanks, guys, and happy trade deadline day.
You too, man.
Jason Demers from the NHL Network. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Fantastic stuff. The Pettersson thing is just bizarre.
The one thing that to his point, in that whole discussion, boys, no moves, no trade lists. They're really a mess for the league.
Well, this has only recently become a thing because you used to have one. Remember Brian Burke's big thing was that you give one, you got to honor it. You don't, whatever, and often players pay for them, right? Some guys are taking $1 million less to get a no move. But now so many players have them, they mean nothing. Like you no longer hear anyone say, "Oh, you can't approach him."
Yarncroc has a 10-team no trade list.
Huh. Like you no longer hear people say, "You can't approach him. He's got a no trade." It's like, well,
and it's really tough on the Canadian teams the most. Ottawa's having a heck of a time right now where they like a guy, and then someone pipes up in the room, he won't come here.
Yeah,
and it's like, So Jordan Binnington has 14 teams on his contract.
Captain
And
Canada.
with the exception of Toronto, everybody's on his no trade list.
Toronto's not on his no trade.
He left Toronto alone, right?
Huh.
And he's got Montreal.
He's not afraid of this.
He's
I
got
find that interesting. I
Edmonton.
love that.
He's got no other spot.
Just
right? Just Toronto. But
God, if I didn't
see,
love Binner already.
I know it's heating up. We're hearing his name a lot, but he's in a kind of a unique spot here where people were dumping on him, including one on this panel, because he was having a horrible year and absolutely justified.
Yes, absolutely.
He goes to the Olympics and he's lights out, meaning he can come back. He can come back and he could lose every game with St. Louis. It won't matter.
Well, and that
It
to
won't
me is
matter.
insane too. If I'm in there with our team's GM and be like, this isn't the Olympics, right? We're still in the NHL. Are we sure you can do this for 2 months?
At least
playoffs?
this is the way I see it. Yeah. So if he chooses to lift his no trades and he goes to a team like Edmonton, and by chance they're as bad defensively as they've portrayed the last month, and he loses in the first round, he does lose a little bit of that credibility coming out of the Olympics, and he's looking for a new contract next season. And
He's got this year and next.
And you're just, if you're him now, you have to decide whether I'm better off just riding this season out and getting traded in the off season, and then being in a position to say, if so-and-so wants me at the trade or at the June draft, then you're going to sign me July 1st. And I get a brand new contract out of it. This way, you're in a position now. If you go to Montreal, if he gets traded to Montreal, they got their 24-year-old Dobish,
Fowler, Dobish.
and Fowler in the minors. And there's no real future for him there. There's just kind of like this small window. And Busey signed in Carolina. So if he goes to Carolina, Busey's the future there, not necessarily him. Does he want to go in there and plug a hole for a year and a half, and then look for another new team? Like,
Here's what I think. I think Jordan Binnington is a winner and cares about winning. And I think he's made $40 million in his career.
yeah.
And I think he's confident that I think he wants to win a cup. I think he'll want to go somewhere where he has a
won
chance.
one already.
Yeah, go win another cup. I think that's what he'll care about. And I think if he's on a good team, they'll probably have a good defense. He'll probably look good. And he'll have a great chance to sign another contract coming out of that.
Maybe.
I don't think the
Maybe.
idea where you stay in St. Louis and lose a bunch and have bad
But
numbers
we just
is
listened to a guy with a
driving
note.
up the numbers.
We just listened to a guy who just told you,
guy.
Jason. we just heard from a guy.
That guy on the TV.
We heard from a guy on the TV who happened to be on our show 30 seconds ago, who said, "Cold weather and taxes."
Yeah.
Didn't think about winning.
Yeah, that certainly would be part of it for me. I know that those factors would all matter. It depends what people's priority are, and we're just trying to guess with these guys. By the way, you know where the taxes are decent and the weather's pretty warm? Vegas.
Vegas would make a ton of sense.
What are you talking about? They just signed Aiden Hill to $6.25 million for the next gazillion years.
Do they seem
Where do they
afraid?
think they're getting rid of that?
Maybe the two of them combined only a $12 million cap hit.
What do you got? 2 Team Canada caliber goalies in your net? You're good to go.
You're set. I don't know. I don't know how they make it work.
Like,
Well, I mean, can St. Louis retain half, and now you're looking at $9 million in your crease for the two of them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
you got to get rid of Aiden Hill before you get to Jordan Binnington, and you got Carter Hart there too.
Who? No, you don't. I mean, I know he's there, but he's got one more year at $2 million or something.
It adds up,
You can
though.
make that disappear.
What is wrong with Vegas, by the way?
I think they don't get a lot of saves.
Yeah. Their goaltending, is right there, but they can't win against like
Yeah,
good teams right now.
they are struggling.
Let's do game time.
Okay.
Get my read here. It's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. 11 games on tap tonight, boys, and there is some good ones, including Pittsburgh at Boston, which is a good one. We've got some playoff implications in that. Particularly like Vegas at Buffalo. Maybe Vegas will be able to beat a good team. They're in Buffalo tonight. Ottawa in Edmonton is another good one for me tonight. Tampa in Minnesota. Montreal, San Jose. Colorado at Anaheim. A lot of really good hockey games tonight on the schedule. I'm going to circle the first one that I brought up. The Boston Bruins. It's on Sportsnet. Hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. Boston is minus 120 in that game. Plus 100 on the other side of the money line for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who haven't necessarily looked like they're about to give it up now that Sid's out of there. They're still playing pretty well. So that's a big one for both teams. They're all kind of big ones for the Bruins now as they cling to that last playoff spot. Going out west, the Sharks hosting the Habs tonight. The Sharks are plus 115 underdogs in that game. Montreal minus 135 on the money line. And the Colorado Avalanche going into Anaheim to take on the Ducks. Ducks are underdogs, as you would imagine, plus 125 on the money line. Colorado minus 150 there. That'll be a great
game.
That'll be an up and down game.
That's the one I'm interested in.
A lot of colors in that.
Yeah,
a lot of colors. Purple and orange.
I'd rather watch that one in black and white, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, that was game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Okay, let's take a quick break. When we return, maybe we'll have a trade. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you think?
Do it.
No. I got something funny to read after the break that we can talk about.
Perfect.
All right. Plenty more on the bone here. Real Kyper and Bourne. Back after these words. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bieber,
Justin B.
Bean,
Too late to say sorry.
JB, Sammy. What do you got?
So this is just funny. This is from Jay Fresh on Twitter because we've been talking about the Buffalo Sabres being in contention and potentially making some moves at the deadline to make the playoffs. Would you like to hear some players who got traded at the deadline in the last season the Sabres made the playoffs?
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
Were you guys born?
Let's start hot with Jason Arnott,
Yeah. Okay.
Dustin Penner, Sergei Samsonov,
Loved Samsonov.
Frederick Modine.
Freddie, that's
yeah.
my buddy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I liked him on the Leafs.
Samsonov was great in video games.
Brian McCabe, Corey Stillman, Alex Kovalev, Brent Sopel, and Jarkko Ruutu.
Brent Sopel.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
All of
man.
those guys
Woo.
are eligible for a discount at Shoppers Drug Mart.
It's got to be really, the Sabres were, for a long time in my youth, like a proud hockey, like in the playoff,
Buffalo.
huge.
It's got to be a hockey.
The building there, you think of some of the overtime, Palmenville, like the building rocking. It's been so long.
That was great.
Trade for Robert Thomas.
Yes.
It's good. Do it.
Treat yourself.
Treat
as the
yourself.
boys
Yeah,
say.
man. It's been too long.
Go get yourself a little RT.
You've stunk. You haven't been close.
All right.
You're talking about Buffalo trading for him?
Yes.
Go get
Oh,
him.
they got to sign Tuck. They're not going to sign
Oh my God! If you let that deter you from signing trading
Tuck
for
at
Thomas.
$10 million.
Tuck at $10 million.
Robert
Oh.
Thomas is
I thought you
6.25
said-
or something.
Oh, I thought you were
for-
talking about a trade for Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant Jason Robertson. We were
Oh, no. I was talking
Okay.
about
Thomas
no.
is 8.125.
8.1's fine.
8.1 until the cows come
Oh,
home.
yeah, do that all day long.
31.
He's a like Toronto area kid too, right?
Yeah.
So he's be close to home.
220
London Knights
pounds,
alum.
80-point guy,
Do you know?
magician.
So it was debatable now his draft year for the Leafs because the Leafs had that pick before St. Louis had that pick.
Oh, I love this stuff.
Oh, I
Okay.
hate this stuff.
And the word is that Mark Hunter at the last second
don't
said
do it.
Robert Thomas. And apparently some of the scouts said no, Timothy Liljegren. And
Why do you have to do this stuff to him,
and
man?
I think
That's so
I think
needless.
Mark Hunter broke and they went the lily pad.
Oh.
Lily is struggling in San Jose right now.
Yeah, he can't get
And he was a
lineup.
London Knight, right? So that's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
that's just Hunter maybe obviously pushing for his player at the time, which probably got a few eyeballs rolled.
Probably part of the perception. Yeah.
so
That all my guys are great.
Josh Norris went,
But he looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, no kid.
Josh Norris went one pick ahead of him. It's an interesting draft, actually. Nico Hischier first overall, Miro Heiskanen, Cale Makar fourth. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I want to say the Flames had like the best odds for the first pick, dropped to 4, and then McCarr dropped to them or something. Like there was some randomness there that they ended up with.
Colorado.
did
Yeah.
end up-
Speaking of Colorado, Lehkonen, how bad's that injury?
I think what's his name? Bednar said it's going to be some time. Going to miss some time. So, we thought for, I don't know when that was, but somebody texted in and asked us over under. Remember 10 regulation losses all year for them, and we were all like, I don't know if they're gonna find it. They've really come back down to the pack in that. I mean, that division's crazy.
I think Colorado could do. They can find a way to make Kadri work as is with his contract,
Really?
but I think that they'd like to offer a little bit more of a package to bring his AAV down.
Well, it's just if you get him for 5 instead of 7, 5.5, it's so much more tolerable as he ages and the deal goes on. Like if he's carrying less of the load.
Calgary shouldn't care. I don't like.
About retaining.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's not going to matter. What
It
is
won't
3
matter.
more years?
it won't matter because
They're not spending to the cap.
they're not spending. They're a floor team anyway. So
get the
spend it
best
on
asset.
dead cap space or spend it on an actual body doesn't really matter. You still have to hit that number.
And in my humble opinion, if you're an ownership group that's not willing to spend $2 million a year to improve your assets and the quality of it's a direct correlation.
Sell the team. Then.
Totally. To me, you have to always be willing to spend to the cap. If you want to have a team that has a chance to win a Stanley
So
Cup.
where's Vancouver? Should Vancouver not have that same attitude for the next couple of years?
Yes, they should.
So if it's Pettersson, so eat a couple of million and get a better asset.
This is
back.
just so long. This is so long. This deal.
I got to tell you.
I don't think we buried that guy enough yesterday. That was tough to watch.
What's the stat you sent in our group chat that he hasn't got a shot?
Yeah, Thomas Drance tweeted that in 50 minutes of
gameplay
gameplay since the Olympics, 0 shots.
If I was thinking
0 shots.
If I was thinking about trading for him, I'd have him do interviews like every 5 minutes because
just to lower the value.
Yes. Just keep going. I would
do a sit down.
I would try to steal that guy
if you're in Detroit, you got to get Darren McCarty to be like, get him on the show.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
I would try to steal him.
So you think there's still value to be gained from him? I know there's value.
Even if I don't, I'm willing to take the chance on a 27-year-old who had
100 points.
Had 100 points like yesterday.
What happened?
Well, think about Huberdeau. Like sometimes the stars align. Everything works out. Your line's perfect. Your team's good. Your high percentage of points. They call it individual points percentage. When your line gets a goal, sometimes things just go really right for guys. I will say, if you're a team like Carolina who has trouble getting stars to come and stay, and he's willing to do that, I'm more willing to take that risk if I'm Carolina than if I am the Kings.
The only problem with Carolina is that they're a little soft for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that before.
They always kind of have.
They just need. I don't know. I was just off the top of my head that there's sometimes I think they could just be a little heavier and grittier.
There are definitely some lines of it. There's some guys who aren't. I mean, if that's something they lack, I'm sure Rod Brindamore makes that case.
Even on, like, you were talking about the retaining thing with Pettersson. You say, sure, $2 million or whatever. Like, you're still convinced at 9.5?
Well, the cap's going up so much.
Can he score 55, 60 points at 9.5?
It's not a bad point that if he's a 70-point guy and the cap goes up and you're paying him 9.5.
On a better team.
It's just going down. The totals, 102, 89, 45, 35 this year.
I got to bring him up around.
-17.
I got to get him 65. He's got to give me 65, 70 points.
He's making 11 schmil. Like, I don't know if you guys saw Bruff this morning, but, like, does he not have any fight? Like, he was talking, does he not have any fight? Does he not want to prove anybody wrong? Like,
it's just,
he wants
it's
Ruff
just
nailed
over
to
there.
talk to the media, that's for sure.
But, I mean, so then send him somewhere where he doesn't have to talk to the media? I don't know.
I wonder if you could offer a guy a no media clause.
A no media clause.
Yeah,
that's a different word for NMC.
We're going to pay you $2 million less, but you'll never have to do media. I think Petey would be like, yeah.
Done.
Let's do it.
Done. Restructure my.
Sportsnet's asking, they're asking Spectre if he could have a no talking to us clause in Edmonton.
Here's the deal, though. When they do the no media clause, the team has to pay that money to the media that they're not giving the player. So you keep the player happy. We get some money. Everyone's happy. See? I just solved everyone's problem.
Mark Stone, hurt again.
Did you see the play that it supposedly happened
it was
on?
Just a little butter.
I don't believe it's
hit.
The arm where he took like a little bump. I
It's
think
not the arm.
No, it like made him wiggle his groin or something. Ankle.
You know what's funny for them?
Back.
You know what's hilarious?
He's got back issues.
I got back issues in the show.
I'm thinking about what they would be doing right now if it was the old rules.
What old rules?
Where they'd just shut him down and they'd spend the money.
Totally.
He'd be like, back, gone.
Thank God.
See you game one, and we'll just trade for the top guy.
And he's going to come back a week before the end of playoffs because
Totally.
he wants to be ready for playoffs where they used to not.
There is a lot
100%.
of talk right now about all these new rules, including double retention gone. And to Sammy's point, what they used to be able to do is really, really screwing up so far the trade market.
But I will say, you can still finagle this thing.
There is some finagling to be had.
You have to dress the salary cap. That means 20 bodies. You can have 25 guys and your 23 guys on your roster or whatever, I still think you can exceed the cap as long as you can dress the cap in the playoffs. They could still sit Stone
I think there's
out.
some GMs nervous because I'm not sure they understand all the rules.
I bet you're right. Everyone who played in the NHL and became a GM is like, wait, carry the one.
Somebody call Pridham.
But you can have more, like Stone could sit out. They could acquire guys in excess of the cap. And then when it comes to playoffs, they just have to dress the cap that night. So you could scratch Aiden Hill, put him in the press box. Now you got 6.25 in the press box. This is it. They're gonna LT. I bet you Stone doesn't play till the end of the year. Hill doesn't play in playoffs.
I would definitely say if there's somebody that's going to understand how to grease the wheels, it'll be the Vegas front office. I have full belief in them to grease it up because that's what they love to do.
You know why? Because they're competitors.
Yeah.
They compete.
Hey,
They try to win.
I'm from Owen Sound, Ontario. I love Greece.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I get it.
There are fans dying for a greasy owner here.
Oh, my God.
Take your cap off. We'll see Grease.
Wow. Anyways, they'll figure it out. But I think it's funny. You're right. It's a different thing this year.
Wednesday's the day that the floodgates will open up.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
You think?
Well, we might see a few things sneak in tonight, but I think by tomorrow there'll be a sense of
Some
urgency.
teams got to make a decision. I think if there are certain teams who know they want a guy, just go get the guy. Pay the price for the good one.
Well, that's what teams are hoping.
Yeah, go
And
do
that's
the
what they're
thing.
waiting for right now.
Go pay the price for the quality furniture that's going to last. Don't
your wife
wait till the last minute buy.
Your wife must love you at the mall.
Oh yeah, this is a conversation we've had many times.
Hey,
Just pay for the good one. Do it once. Anyway,
Pay for
You
the
know
Robert Thomas.
pay for
Buffalo.
Thomas.
Do it.
Don't go get discount Robert Thomas. It's not going to help.
our thanks to Gord Stellick in the first hour of our Leaf edition. Jason Demers from the NHL Network, also a big contributor today. All right. 11 games on tap tonight. Pick yours, and we're back tomorrow to do it all over again on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Have a great night, everybody.